Alright, so, hello everyone, welcome to Sunday. It is a gorgeous, beautiful, nice Sunday, which I have spent most of the day inside. But now I'm out, riding around, having a good time. So let's get this vlog started. I want to wrap up a few thoughts and then start a few others. Basically, I want to wrap up a few thoughts about that. What the fuck is this guy backing up? What? Anyway, this is pretty crazy. I want to wrap up some thoughts I had about the clutch cable install, which was my last video. So some final thoughts would basically be, I was thinking about it afterward, and I worked on that for maybe about an hour. It didn't take too long. It was my first time working on a clutch cable, anything like that. I watched a few videos on YouTube, I bought the part, and I went and tried it. So the video I made is not at all a how-to. I wasn't doing any teaching in that video, although that's definitely something I'm interested in the future. And if anyone would like to see more, like, to see, period, how-to videos, let me know, because that's something I've been wanting to do. But every time I go to fix something on this bike, it's like, you know, oftentimes maybe my first time doing it, or maybe I don't have enough experience, and it just doesn't end up being a how-to video. So if you'd like to see those, let me know. Maybe I can try and put them together in the future. So that's basically a final thought there. It wasn't too difficult to do. I think if you're concerned as to whether or not you can do it yourself, just go for it. I had no problems with it. So moving on, I got to thinking as I was fixing that, that's sort of a regular maintenance issue, right? If your clutch cable pops on you, that's kind of something that happens. This bike is 10 years old, so clutch cable going bad doesn't really surprise me. That shit's gonna happen on old stuff, you know, old parts, especially ones that get as much use as a cable like that. So it doesn't really surprise me that it went bad, but I have several items of regular maintenance on this bike that I want to get taken care of. So I'll just kind of list those off, and then I thought maybe I'd talk briefly about things to do to the bike, which it's 10 years old. You know, it's kind of like this guy putting a nice rims on this little thing. There you go. It's just an okay car. Is it worth spending a bunch of money on? Well, this bike is 10 years old. Is it worth me putting the money into if I'm, you know, thinking about maybe at some point just upgrading to a much nicer bike? So first, let's talk about the regular maintenance items. I've had several things on my list for this thing for quite a while. The first is a chain. First and foremost in my mind is a new chain. That's definitely going to happen pretty soon. This one's old and stretched out. I'm going to get a new one. And this one's just loose too, so it needs to be adjusted, but I can just tell that it's old and stretched out. So that's definitely on my list of things to get fixed. Another thing, and they tell me that Kawasaki's just do this, but the engine makes a ticking noise that really bothers me. And I looked at some old videos I made, and it didn't seem to be making the noise as bad. Granted, that was before I had a microphone, so it was a different situation. But in comparison, it sounds like that tick's gotten worse through time, so I might bring it in and have that looked at. Just kind of like an engine knocking noise. But it goes away when the engine's really warm, and I've heard that, you know, Kawasaki's do that kind of thing. They make ticking noises, especially old ones. So I'm gonna get that looked at, but it's not affecting the operation of the vehicle, and I don't think it's damaging it, so I'm not hugely worried about it. But that's, you know, on my list of regular maintenance. So then another one is gonna be this ticking noise, this creaking coming from my front suspension, which really drives me fucking crazy. Every time I go to brake like this, I can hear that creaking noise, and it just makes me want to fucking hurt things. If you're gonna go, just go. So the suspension creaking is more of an annoyance. I've done some research on that too, and I don't think anything's broken. It's not affecting the operation. It's just a noise. Maybe something needs lubrication or tightening or whatever, but it's been like this for a little while. I probably should have had it checked out before, but even probably when it started. But it doesn't seem to be affecting anything. So that's next on my list of regular maintenance also. So then, you know, I think that's pretty much it. I got the chain, I got the engine ticking, I've got the creaking of the suspension. That's pretty much my regular maintenance that I really want to get done. So then my next thought is, what do I want to put on it? So it seems to me like nobody keeps their bike stock anymore. Everybody upgrades. Basically no one likes to have a stock bike, because then it looks like someone else's. They like to customize it themselves. And I can definitely think of a few things I want to do. I just don't know if doing that to this bike is worth it. For example, something aesthetic and maybe a little bit operational are these levers. My levers here. I like the short levers. I don't like this full length. I like the shorter ones that are 2-finger pull. They're a lot more comfortable on my hands. They look a lot better. These are real old and rusted, as you can see. I can't even adjust this. There's no adjustment going on there, even though that's what that's for. I can't adjust it because it's too old and rusted. And this bike's 10 years old, and whoever owned it before me maybe left it outside. It had some rust on it when I got it. So it's not really, again, it's not really affecting the operation, except for the adjustment, which it doesn't need. So whether or not I go and fix it is sort of up in the air. I'd like to fix it, but I guess it's not really fixed. I mean, I'd like to upgrade, make it look a lot better. It would operate maybe a little better. So it's definitely the kind of thing I want to check out. Let's go this way. So yeah, levers are definitely a big one. It's already got a power commander, but I need to get it tuned because I brought this thing down from a higher elevation when I moved here. So this thing's kind of tuned and set up for a high elevation, and now I'm living at low elevation. So I definitely want to have that looked at. And hell, that might be what's part of what's making it tick. I don't know. But that's another thing that I need to get looked at. I've got the power commander, and I need to maybe get this thing tuned up for a lower elevation. That's definitely probably worth it, whereas the levers maybe not. Tuning is definitely worth it, I would say, on this bike. It'll make it operation a lot more smoother, might even make it faster, I don't know. But what else does one do to a motorcycle? I mean, I can think of a ton of things. I'm not going to do any kind of fairings or anything like that. I like the Kawasaki. I like the Kawasaki look. I like the color. So I'm not going to do any fairings. I'm not going to do any flush lights. It already has flush lights on the side. The back, maybe I could do an integrated tail light and turn signal. But honestly, I kind of like the turn signals I've got. I just think it looks better if it was integrated, which I've heard that's not too difficult to do. You just got to basically buy the part and install it. But I don't know if I want to do that. Damn, it got like cloudy all of a sudden, threatening. So it's another one of those bits of maintenance where I'm like, well, I could do that, but I don't know if I really want to. Turn signals would be kind of nice for the back, integrated so it's in the light, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty good as is. And this thing's got definitely a few paint issues that I would love to fix up. I would love to repaint this thing. Not necessarily redo the fairings, just repaint the whole thing, make it look good. Because it's pretty old, and it's not scratched up real bad. But it's not super clean either. I took some stickers off, and I thought I removed all of the adhesive properly, but there's now some like dirt spots outlining where those stickers used to be, like some of the adhesive left over and a little bit of dirt got stuck on there. So basic things like that. Paint, levers. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. If you have any ideas, let me know, because I like to leave it pretty much stock, but it might look pretty cool to do something to it that I've never even heard of. So yeah, let me know. I'd be interested. And that's about it. I'm going to keep cruising around. Hopefully I don't get rained on here. And I'll be back soon.